Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to Fourth and John, episode 198. Is it 198 or is it 199? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Hey, we're working on the fly. Tonight is just a homework assignment for us. We're just kind of like, we just thought we'd try and build a Eagles mock draft board 2021 inspired by Jimmy Kempski. Who doesn't love Jimmy Kempski? Like, he put out an article recently today building a draft board, and we're like, you know what, why don't we just do this on the fly with the help of people in the chat? You know, on everyone's going to be in and out. This might take a little bit. This could be very interesting. I don't know what we started, but we were doing it right now. Just trying to look at some of our targets. I mean, obviously you got to be realistic about some of these. You know, where are we going to be? Where we're going to be drafting on draft night? Are we going to be sitting at 12? Are we going to, you know, move up to 10 possibly and jump the Cowboys or 8 or 9 or whatever? I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. I think right now we're gonna go at it from the number 12 spot. Thanks to Howie Roseman. So you guys excited? Is your draft nerd getting on right now or what?
Man, I have been feeling some type of way. It all started, I think, on Monday. I've obviously been getting excited for the draft, but like when this week officially hit, that's when it like hit me. And I was like, oh shit, we're about to get the fresh batch later this week. And I'm excited to do the draft. So I'm excited to talk to all the fans that are going to be popping on. Everybody's starting to get a little bit out of control. I'm not going to lie. All this Quiddy Pay conversation is a little bit out of control. I understand why people like them, but yeah, I'm excited to do this draft board, see who's realistically going to be there at 12. And I mean, who knows what the Eagles could do? They've blown our minds before.
I mean, prior to the show, I watched the Quiddy Pay special on ESPN. Obviously, it might tug at your heartstrings. The idea that his family escaped Liberia, his grandfather,
it's an awesome story.
Yeah. His grandfather ended up getting killed, and then his mom names him after his grandfather. They come over to America like this. I mean, he's living the American dream, but he's got a great story. But again, I'm not trying to go edge this early. Not fired up about the edges. Maybe a little later, move back. But again, we're at 12. I want to get an alpha because there's still possibly an area where we can hit alphas at 12. You guys agree?
100%. Yeah, I think that we're going to have options.
I mean, who wants to get an okay guy at 12? That's not where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to dictate. You look at some of these moves that some of these GMs are doing around the league. They're dictating to others. They pick their guys and like, let's go. This is my guy. So without further ado, I mean, should we just start talking about some of these players? Ev, do you have that list?
The one that I popped up before the show
that we're building over here.
I've got an Excel spreadsheet that I'm ready to build on, and then
this guy's nerding out on us.
Yeah, nerding out. I spotted this guy prior to starting. Don't agree with everything on here, but this is essentially what we're building tonight.
Okay. Do you know where you got that from, so we can give him a shout out?
Yes, absolutely. I got that from.
His name is Jake Ellenbogen.
Jake Ellenbogen. Shout out to Jake.
Yep, on Twitter. Yep.
If he knows how to do
runs a great Rams podcast.
Nice.
Sure. At JKBOGENDTSN on Twitter.
DTF. Nice. Morris says, I think more QBs will go top 10 than originally predicted, and there will be more for us to choose from at 12. I'm just nervous. Giants or Cowboys will pick our guys, and we will sit there shaking in our boots, throwing darts at names. I think obviously we're all kind of, we went through the CeeDee Lamb treatment last year. We're not trying to go through this J.C. Horn, Surtain treatment. If those two go, then we're going to be left being the laughing stock. We don't want to be those guys. So going off some of our first round guys that we're targeting. Can we start listing those guys?
Are you talking about guys that we realistically think are going to be there at 12?
Yeah,
I would say
our targets.
Yeah, I would say probably Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith will be my 4 targets. If any one of those guys are there at 12 and we take them, I am happy.
Chris, how you feeling about those 4?
Pretty good. I mean, right now, there's just a lot of smoke around the entire draft because people are talking about the Patriots moving up to select a quarterback. And right now, we know this. Trevor Lawrence is going 1, Zach Wilson's going 2, and then the draft really starts at pick 3 and 4. What's up, Pete? So right now, it's going to be Lance or Mac Jones there. And then I think that if any of the wide receivers are going to fall to 12, it's going to be Devonta Smith because all the concerns surrounding his size, I really don't worry about it because I know what the guy is as a prospect and I know how relentless he is off the field. I mean, he's just a guy that is so dedicated to the craft, and he kind of reminds me of like a Stephon Diggs when he talks. And he's just a guy that he doesn't care about what anyone says about him. He's going to show his value on the field like he has been. But, Gail, J.C. Horn's been our guy. That's the guy at 12 that I want. I'm praying that Dallas doesn't scoop him up right in front of us. I think he has the mental makeup to last year in Philly and the physical makeup to be a CB1 immediately.
Interesting. I mean that's the feel I get. Like those are my targets, right? You have 2 wide receivers. Hopefully that to me it's only going to come down to 2 guys, I believe, because I feel like Devonta Smith or Waddle. It's going to be one or the other, or it's going to be Surtain or J.C. Horn, or it could be a mixed match of those both. I think are any of those guys like a Rashawn Slater guy that you would feel okay with drafting if say like J.C. Horn's on the board and Rashawn Slater's there? Where are we going with?
I'd rather take Horn over Slater, but I already saw it in the chat. People were talking about Kwity Paye. I would take Slater over Paye in a heartbeat. I don't want Kwity Paye at 12. The only way I'd feel comfortable getting him is if we trade out of the top 20. He's not even the consensus number 1 edge rusher, and to take him at 12 would be a huge mistake if you had J.C. Horn still on the board and some other guys. I mean, I'd even take JOK from Notre Dame over Kwity Paye right now because if you look at the way that our roster is constructed, Derek Barnett's still here. I know that it's not a long contract. Brandon Graham's still here. I know it's not a long contract. Josh Sweat's still here. I know it's not a long contract. I definitely want to get an edge rusher, but to take one at 12 in a class that's not really strong at the position and to avoid getting like maybe a Patrick Surtain, a J.C. Horn, or a linebacker that would start right away would be dumb. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like it would. I think that Kwity Paye is way better than Marcus Smith, but it's one of those situations where like you're not valuing the 12th pick at all if you take Kwity Paye there.
All right, so we're for like, can we all agree that we're out on Kwity Paye?
Absolutely.
Yes,
at
sir.
12,
Yeah,
at 12. At 12, yeah.
At 12.
Like I get the love for Kwity, like the athletic profile.
It's an awesome story. Awesome story.
I get it. I'm saying like that's not who I'm targeting right now. Like he's an after. Like again, he's an afterthought for me. Like there's people on the timeline that are like, but they're fired up. They're like, yeah, I take him like without even blinking.
For the purposes of the show that we are doing tonight, though, do we rank him as the top edge rusher in the draft?
I don't.
Who you got? Jalen Phillips?
I have Jalen Phillips. I have Ojulari ahead of him. I'm not quite there on Rousseau yet, but I'm close. But that's where it is. I mean, there's 3 guys I'd probably take before Paye. We're not dealing with another athletic guy only with no production again, are we?
I mean, 11 and a half sacks doesn't do for you in 4 years? No? No? Didn't know?
I mean, no.
No.
Kind of underachieving.
Yeah.
Not underachieving, but
again,
not worthy of a 12th.
And I thought Rashawn Gary was stupid a few years ago. You know, this is the same thing. Same school, same underproduction, same athletic freak. it just doesn't make sense. There's so many better players, and Soko's exactly right. There's 2 or 3 guys that are better there.
I mean,
I love
Russo isn't Russo a little stiff for y'all? I mean, there's nothing he did to me was like, yo, I need to get this guy in the first round. So again, like if you're second round, come talk to me. And
I think Rousseau's raw. I think he was really only a starter for 1 year. He had that 15.5 sack season, and then we haven't seen him since because he didn't play. Which was smart because if he played last year, we would be talking about him later on in the draft.
15.5 sacks in 1 year compared to 11 and
exactly.
Kwity Paye is 4.
Exactly.
I'm high on Jalen.
That's an analytics god, but people are going to harp on the fact that he's the Mitch Trubisky of edge rushers in this draft.
Todd says, I'm excited like I was an 11-year-old kid waiting on Christmas knowing mom sucks at picking a gift and you're going to get socks and clothes, but praying you got a cool gadget or toy to play with. To be honest, I am a big fan of getting socks.
I am too. Now that I'm
Socks are great. Socks are great.
Love some socks. But I do understand that as a child, that's not what you're exactly eyeing up.
Shout out to Pete in the chat.
Thank you,
Brendan says Roche is greater than Rousseau. I've been hearing that a lot.
I like that too,
we got to get to our guys here. So right now, if we're going to make this a faster project.
Yeah, I have 2 people on the board so far, so 11 minutes in.
let's just be honest. Let's just be honest with ourselves right now.
Yeah.
Like JC Horn, Surtain, all right, or Devonta Smith or Waddle. To me, like everyone just like will be like, well, who one or the other. Like it's probably going to come down to 2, so I'm okay with all 4 of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep.
We've also agreed on Slater.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Slater.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate it.
I would accept Slater.
When you get
it's a value.
It wouldn't be Slater. I would be perfectly fine with, but it's one of those things that I'm not going to get nearly as excited for Rashawn Slater as I am for those other 4 guys.
Yeah, because he's going to lock down that guard spot for 10 years. But
yeah,
it's nothing flashy.
I'm thankful for that. But like the idea of a game-breaking wide receiver being on the team is just way more tempting to me. But I'm not a GM.
So Veritaka or. I'm
too early.
Exactly. This is where I'm trying to decipher. So if we have 5 guys, if we're sticking at 12, our 5 guys are those guys that we just named.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have those on the list.
Not yet. I mean, well, the way that I'm doing this list is I'm ranking everybody by position. So we just compared 3 different positions. I don't know what you want me to do, but that we should be comparing J.C. Horn versus Patrick Surtain. Which one's the better cornerback? And then I rank them in that order.
I mean, do we have? I mean, we could do order. But we could be here until 12 o'clock at night. But I'm saying those are our targets.
Yeah,
5 guys.
Exactly.
Obviously, the other thing is they're not going to all be there at the same time. Like it's not going to be those 5 guys are going to get to choose from. It's going to be like 2 of them.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with those guys. Move up targets. Who are we potentially moving up for in the first round? I mean, from 12, who are we moving up for if they fall?
Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, and then that Howie's going to look at Lance or Fields or either side.
Another guy I wanted to toss in there is I think the Finns really like Waddle. If he falls, though, Howie's obsessed with speed still, right? Who's to say he doesn't go up and get him?
Yeah.
As well. If he falls to like 9 and they worry about, Jerry either grabbing him at 10 or the Giants grabbing him at 11.
First of all, shout out to AJ Torres in the building.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
You ready for this? You ready for this geeky conversation about the draft?
Yes, I am, but I don't want to hear anything about Kwity Paye.
We've already he's not on the target list. So we've already got our 5 target guys at 12. We've cornered it down to Horn. I know you've been standing for months and months. Surtain. We have Smith, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Waddle, and then we're okay with Rashawn Slater. If that has to be. Elijah Vera Tucker, not. If we were moving back, we're okay.
Yep.
But we're not. Those are the 5 guys that we're feeling. Now, guys that we're on, the guys we're moving up for. So Chris said Chase, Pitts.
Pitts, and then Howie would move up for either quarterback, Lance or Fields.
I mean, what we're talking about you though. What would you? Any quarterback you'd move up for, say to 8.
I'm so back and forth with the quarterbacks. One day I say I want to because I'm not a big Jalen Hurts guy. Like I just don't trust his arm at all. But then at the same time, I'd rather see how this season plays out and wait for maybe a guy like Spencer Rattler or Hal next year. So
okay, so you're on the Pitts train falling, or Chase, or
are you asking me which one?
Yeah, or either one. Would you move up for any of those?
I would move up for. It depends how far though. If 8. they fell to 8, 100%, it's not even a contest.
We're throwing Sewell in there, obviously. Have you got that written down?
Yeah.
See, Evan's got this fancy. If you guys don't know Ev, his setup, he's got like this.
That ring light is beautiful. Whatever light you have, they're ridiculous. I need one of them.
he's got a ring light. He's got 2 monitors. This guy's moving up in the world. Life has been treating him well during this.
Yes, it has.
And shout out to AJ in the building, who's also going to be running her first live stream on Thursday. Oh man, Marcus says we're getting that draft day drip ready. Obviously, if you guys don't realize, we're going to be doing a live draft show on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Be ready for 20 hours of nonstop
commercial free
draft nerdiness.
So while we're on the topic of guys that we really like and ranking these guys, I mean, would you rank Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase? Who would you give the nod to between those 2 guys?
Are we asking just me, or did we go through this already?
No.
I'm going Chase.
One for Chase, one for Pitts.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of like what I want.
In terms of
give me what I want, Evan.
Who do you think the better player will be?
I'm not gonna say who better. I'm just saying who I want.
Okay.
So that's where I'm kind of like they're both alphas, but I would love. I would love Chase, man. I just would love because we know we need a wide receiver so bad. We got Dallas Goedert that we could rock with.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You can always take a Hunter Long or a Tommy Tremble.
Yeah. I mean,
another tight end.
AJ's trying to sneak his guy in there.
Damn right I am.
Okay.
I'm used to being everybody against me on a Chase discussion, so that's okay.
All right, so Soko's embracing the Chase. Another guy we didn't talk about move back. We'll get to that. We gotta move up targets, but I'm gonna get back to Jonathan's comment here. The Bateman. So we are our move up. No, are we on the Jalen Hurts QB1 lifestyle right now? Are we all go
until we're not.
We're not until opening day. I'm still gonna be iffy about it, but the first snap he takes is QB1, then he's my guy.
Okay, so our potential move up targets are Penei Sewell, Chase, Pitts. Are we moving up for? Say there's a vibe of J.C. Horn potentially going before 10. Would you?
There are vibes.
Yeah, I know. Would you guys in the room move up for J.C. Horn?
I would. You already know I would.
I would move up to 9 for JC. Yes.
There's word of him going to Carolina at 8, though. That's a problem.
Jonathan says no.
Yeah, but I think Carolina overwhelmingly is gonna go for a lineman there. They're gonna take either Sewell or Slater. I would think over a cornerback there.
I just know that the Cowboys have been eyeing it. There's a lot of talk about JC Horn to the Cowboys, and so I would just love to jump them to prevent JC Horn being a guy we're going up against 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right, so we got it pretty much locked down right now. Our five guys are Devonta Smith, Waddle, J.C. Horn, Surtain, Rashawn Slater at 12. Move up targets: Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts,
Sewell.
So yeah.
There's a lot of JC
that's
Horn
slide.
hate in the chat right now.
Is there some?
I've
There's
seen
some
a couple people. I mean, dude, JC Horn is
all
a
right.
guy that he lit up 8 receptions on 239 coverage snaps. He only let up 50 yards one time, and that was Devonta Smith, and it was on a breakout slant route where the safety missed a tackle. Dude, against Jalen Waddle, 1 catch for 12 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 1 catch for 7 yards. Justin Ross, 2 catches for 7 yards. No, for 14 yards. Kyle Pitts, 1 catch for 20 yards. Seth Williams, 1 catch on 9 targets for 44 yards and 2 picks. And then against Elijah Moore, in 2 games, 7 catches, 47 yards. It's like these are all going to be – they're all first and second round picks, and they got nothing against him. And he had the lowest completion percentage against him on man coverage in the entire country. Like, I don't get why people don't want him. I mean, dude, he's 6'1", 205. He's a legacy player. He runs a 4.38. Like, JC Horn's the guy. Like, him and Surtain are both solid prospects.
The whole thing with J.C. Horn, the knock on him is that he's grabby, but so is Aqib Talib, and you saw how his career went. Like,
I'll take the grabbiness. I mean, this whole thing
Surtain's grabby,
right? And no one talks about that with Surtain because he's a clean prospect. So it's like it's
so.
Annoying.
Deshae says D Milliner. I don't see that in these guys. J.C. Horn, obviously, I don't see anything like that in J.C. Horn.
Jalen Ramsey will tell you he is the best corner. He has everything you want to be a superstar, but then other people will tell you he shouldn't even be a first round pick. It's like, make up your mind.
Guess what? Keep telling people that because I need him to fall to 12.
I haven't felt this confident about a CB1 corner like since Ramsey, or I'd say Lattimore. I was high on Lattimore. Mm-hmm. I didn't think we was gonna fall to us, but it's been a while since I was like, yo, that's a dog right there. I'll take him. And then I think we got those guys certified, right? Ev, our guys, our move up targets, and our guys at 12, right?
And I'm going crazy on this freaking Excel sheet right now. And I gotta tell you, I got 2 different sheets. So I got one that is ranking them specifically by position, and I got one that is ranking them just in order. Now here's where I have some questions that I need to address the group here. After Jamar Chase, who's the best wide receiver on the board?
After Jamar, I mean, it's either Smith or Waddle.
That's not an answer. You gave me 2
He's
options.
asking which one.
I'm ranking them. I'm asking you guys would you want
we
Waddle?
Have to rank them?
I'd say Devonta.
I gotta get.
We're making a big board, aren't we?
The question is,
Yeah, I thought that's what.
Well, I mean,
for the Eagles' big board, the question is: do you want a home run hitter, or do you want somebody who's going to be open 99% of the time?
Isn't that both of them though?
No, I mean you could. I guess you can say that, but if you watch the route running ability, Devonta Smith, in my opinion, is the best in this draft.
Oh, absolutely. But Waddle's definitely going to be open a lot too because just.
But you also got to base it off of a Sirianni type offense, which is not going to be home run hitting plays every single down. Right. So I think that Devonta Smith fits better in a Sirianni based offense.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say I'm more excited about Devonta Smith as an overall wide receiver in his skill set. To me, it speaks to me as like he can do it all. Mm-hmm. When I look at Waddle, I look at a guy who's got tremendous explosion, tremendous separation. But he separates in his own. Like I don't think he's like he runs routes as crispy as like Devonta Smith, but he doesn't really have to. When he gets out of those breaks, you see him separate instantly. Mm-hmm. So again, like depending on who they want, like I'm already okay with both of those guys. That's where I'm not in terms of like trying to rank it and get out of get crazy with it. They're both depending on who you want, what kind of vibe you're looking for. But overall, I feel like if we're going overall style of wide receiver, consistent at the catch point, crispy routes, football IQ, later, you name it. Two-time captain at Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner, SEC,
everything. Biletnikoff Award winner,
all first team All-American. I mean, if that's what you want to go, like, again, and this is another thing that we could talk about. Waddle, he has yet to like really produce like a number one. We have not seen that yet. Like, he got hurt.
It's hard to base it off of that too, because you could say it's the same thing about DK Metcalf a couple years ago. He only had like 762 yards, whatever, in that season, and now look at him in the NFL.
I mean,
so with those two, I feel like with those two, you can't miss either of them too. I feel like they're both going to be very good receivers.
Yeah, and that's why when it comes down to whoever's on the board, like, because I don't think both of those guys are going to be sitting there waiting for us with open arms. Like, someone's. I mean, I'm just getting. I wasn't
getting geeked, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, it just kicked in right now. I'm really fired up about the draft right now.
Yeah, so do you guys think they trade up, or do you think they stay at 12, or do you think they trade back?
I think they stay and pick. Honestly, I don't see. I wouldn't be shocked if they trade up. I would be shocked if they trade it back. That would be the most surprising scenario to me, is if they trade back. I think the most likely to happen is they stay, though.
I feel like the only way they trade back is if all four of the guys that were, that make the most sense here, our two corners and two wide receivers are all gone. I don't think, I think that's a scenario just where either they shock us and take Kwity Paye, which would be awful, or they do the smart thing and trade back to like someone who wants to get a quarterback.
And when I say I don't want to talk about Kwity Paye, it's because I don't want to reach for him at 12. If they were to trade back to 17, 18, I'm all right with it, because you're adding more value getting picks after that. But
I would still rather have a JOK than a Kwity Paye, personally.
Exactly, and I agree with that.
That's another guy. I mean, I think we're cool with the guys that we like. The 5 locked in at 12. Our move up guys. Can we now enter the discussion of
the
potential move back? Let's. I don't want to speak that into existence. How about move up from 37 and back into 1? How about that?
Okay.
Because are we moving back for JOK?
How far up do you think that they would trade up if they traded to 37?
I mean, you talk about that 30 spot with if we're gonna sprinkle in Ertz in the trade, like if we can use him to move up. They were trying to work something out. Could that be a possible thing? Back 30.
I feel like if you're at 30, though, you're not touching any of those. You maybe get a Jamin Davis there. I don't think you can get a JOK, or you maybe be able to get a Boogie Basham there if you really like him. But
Deshae says he's all in favor for staying where we're at. Again, like, if there's any potential move back guys, the only guys that I could think of is, the JOK. And if they really, I don't know, man.
Gail hates JOK, dude.
No, I like JOK. I think
every time the conversation comes up, it's
I just don't feel it's realistic.
I agree with that entirely.
Where we're at 1, like I'm tired. I don't want to move back again, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no one for me. Like,
we're already at 6. For us to move back to like 17, it's just.
And so I've been, how many times I keep going back and watching Kwity Paye? I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? Like,
you're missing the production.
I'm trying to forecast, like, does he have enough?
The thing is, you can't always
in the tool belt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Draft off of production, because that's kind of killed us too in the past. So it's kind of both production and projection. But for Paye, he's literally Brandon Graham. Just, what I mean? That's just what I see. He's Brandon Graham all over again.
Do you think he's a better pass rusher than Brian from the Panthers, from Florida State?
Brian Burns? Hell no.
Exactly. This in terms of like to tools in the shed and the dip, rip, and bend. Like,
Yeah, absolutely not.
that's what I'm saying. Like, like if you're gonna get a developing defensive end, like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
I'm a Jalen Phillips guy.
Yeah, that's what. And everyone's again. We have not. Can we all agree that we have not talked personally about Jalen Phillips and how we feel about him?
Yeah,
until
we
right now.
really brought it up
Until
really
right
often.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm more higher on Phillips and his tools in the shed.
Yeah.
It's just like that concussion thing.
He's a medical red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
It is hard. But my thing is, like, if that medical red flag ends up pushing him to 37,
Yeah, and
you're sprinting that card.
There's
to
a
the
chance
podium.
that he can. There's a chance that it can. That would be a great pick at 37.
Shout out to Prime Jr. in the building. A resident Cowboy fan. We still since he is family. We cannot he's step family. I want to know what you want as a Cowboy fan in here, picking at number 10. Who do you want? Is it Horn, Surtain, or something, or someone else? Let me know. Need a sec. So I mean, we're pretty much set here, right? JOK.
I have JOK on this list as the top linebacker. Are we okay with that? It's the top linebacker in the draft.
I mean, are you
considering? Yeah.
I mean,
he's
off Evan's board.
Talent wise,
he's
the best in the draft, but the red flags with the whole Penn
I agree
State
entirely.
thing, yeah.
And so I'm weighing all options here, which
But
is
at the same
exactly
time, man, like the whole hazing thing is bad, but you need some bad boys on your team. Like you need some guys with some kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know how to really explain it.
There's different levels.
Like,
you can have a bad boy that doesn't, pull some wild shit in the locker room. Like, you know what I mean? There could be a guy with like an attitude. It doesn't have to
like JOK. Like JOK's like he's like, yeah, like I want to play in Philly. Like I understand the fan base. And then you have Parsons, who seems to have the like maturity level of like a 12-year-old. And like so it's like I don't know. I've the whole Parsons thing. It's like there's a reason why he went from like consensus top 5 pick that people have no idea where he's going to go now. Like there's a lot of dirt that people have dug up on him.
Like if you talk about like this, AJ makes a good point about like this part about the Eagles. We talk about this identity, this team. Do you build off around a player who's had that kind of off the field things when you have a team that's looking for a leader, looking for identity, you're trying to infuse youth to the tank. But AJ also makes a good point about sometimes you can't even worry about having choir boys because, like, if Charles Haley, the linebacker who played with the Cowboys and the 49ers, have you ever read up on the stories about the stuff he did in the locker room? I mean, this dude was like skating in the middle of the locker room and also being a all-pro linebacker. But they let all these things slide because you couldn't get away with stuff he was doing. Like he was on another level of, but he's in the Hall of Fame.
And I'm not sitting here saying I want a bunch of Ray Rices and Kareem Hunts, but you need to have some kind of mix of leadership and some kind of mix of ferocity and bad boy kind of type in your locker room.
So AJ, you're sharing your locker with right next to Micah Parsons, and
just watch your back at all times.
You're gonna wear your soap around your neck,
head on the swivel.
You're damn right. Put a little cushion pad right where your ass is, and you'll be fine.
Got to duct tape your butt anytime you go into the locker room.
Yeah, AJ, he sets up his locker room right next to Micah first day, and what's up, man? I'm Micah. What's your name?
I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone.
You're damn right. That's what I said.
Hey, as long as we set the tone early, AJ is the veteran presence in the locker room that we need at this moment. Okay, so that we're good with that. He's off my board.
That's fine. JOK is still my number one linebacker anyway. So
I've been going back and forth to like trying to figure out like where he is at mentally, because athletically I'm like, yo, this guy is like,
talent wise, he's a top 5 pick.
Could you imagine like Fletcher Cox, Hargraves, the meat and potatoes up front, and he's just clean sweeping everything behind it, like the screen game, and then you want to like get creative and move him, rush him off the edge, move Brandon Graham inside, NASCAR, and then you can bring up the other linebackers to fill in that the delayed blitzes through the A and the B. But then are we sold on him in coverage? Like, we know his athletic profile is there, but have we seen enough of Micah Parsons to be? Is he like a Jabril Cox in space?
No.
No.
JOK was like the best coverage,
right?
Guy other than Jabril Cox. Like, that's what we need, though. You need a guy that can cover a Travis Kelce, or at least like put up a fight. Like, we don't have anything like that right now. Like, our linebackers are terrible in coverage.
Someone wanted to shout out to Moore in the chat. Does anyone let her know what Micah did? There was altercation.
Google's a good tool.
Someone asked me, how do you feel about Micah Parsons? And I tried to tell a joke. I said Micah Parsons is Gross Matos. I was like, there's levels to that one, because Gross Matos was involved in this hazing incident, and he also got drafted in the second round. People were like, you're actually going to team those guys up together with the Panthers if they're like, oh, we could draft Parsons, but he went in the second round, and some people were saying he was a first round talent, but did he slide because of that? But I think, again, like, I'm not, like, he said he's changed. He said things are back. You know, like, if a team can't accept me for my mistakes earlier on, then I don't want to be at that program. For me, that's a kind of weird. His PR person didn't give him the right tools for success on that one.
Right.
Just like I've learned from my mistakes moving forward. I'm looking to be a leader of men in the locker room. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I mean, Deshae said it. Deshae said it. Deshae said, he says, the Sandusky thing. You're coming from Penn State. You can't be.
Yeah.
You can't be making that joke, period. But then on top of that, he also acted on it. I mean, it's not like he was just verbally saying things. He was, putting his meat between buns.
I don't want to get it twisted here. I wasn't vouching for him. I was making an example that you need some kind of.
I understand your point.
Other cultures in your locker room.
Again, like, have you guys any of you guys watched the NFL Network rookie? Thing they got. Have you gotten a vibe from him? He said he looks like Trace Songz. Anyone?
His interviews are horrendous.
And that's a red flag, is it not?
Well, does that speak to the maturity issues you're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I know there's a lot of Penn State.
I don't take interviews like for the whole Sirianni thing. Like, I care about the X's and O's, dude. I care about the X's and O's and how they perform on a football field. I don't care about your interview skills. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you show it on the field,
I mean, realistically, Doug came in and didn't know what the hell he was talking about when he was up. He got better as the years went on. When he first came in, it was so bad listening to him.
I mean, I know it's totally different sport, but if we're looking at a guy like Kawhi Leonard, like, his interviews are absolutely like
just dog shit. They're
dog shit and painful, but he's like one of the best players in the league, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's just because he's quiet and doesn't know how to talk to people, not because he's got a character.
I mean,
the laugh is
like, he could potentially be a NBA MVP and also have bodies. So
in the basement for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'd be like,
and it would not shock me.
So shout out to Chris Bilas in the Bilas in the chat. I would take Horn at 12, and then we're talking about linebackers, and he goes to another target, Jalen Collins at 37 if he slips here.
So would we put Jalen Collins as the top linebacker after JOK and Parsons?
No, not me.
Or you Nick Bolton?
Me? I'm Nick Bolton or Jabril Cox. I'm big fans of both. I haven't been a big Zaven guy for I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not as high on it as everybody else is.
So is the weight an issue?
The weight is an issue for me. He's still athletic.
AJ's weight shaming over here. Someone said he's at 270?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, you could play edge.
Right.
But do you have the skill set to play edge?
I don't think he does. I think he's more coverage guy.
It's almost like that big kid that's been playing running back in Pee Wees, and then he ends up like, when you get to high school, you're going to be playing lineman. Like, is he out? You think he's playing out of position? He's got crazy movement skills for his size.
I think he's a good linebacker. I just don't think that he fills the gaps well enough for me. Like, I feel like he's just a pure pass coverage linebacker, and with that weight, I don't know how well it's going to match up athletically with some of the tight ends and slot guys in the league.
All right, so let's start thinking about our picks at 37. That makes sense. Like, straight off the back, no chaser. I'd have to say, if Terrace Marshall is there, we get the if I had to double dip at I don't know if I'm double dipping at wide receiver. I'm double dipping
at corner.
Like, I would totally be okay with it, even though I know Jalen needs another weapon. But if you got me Terrace Marshall from LSU, a size speed profile that you could, I'm cool with it. Got some size, SEC talent. I'm good with that. I'll let someone else name a name off.
I love Tony if he's there. Okay, I like Boogie Basham.
So we have Kadarius Toney from Florida.
Sean Bateman.
If he's there, Bateman's the guy. I don't think he's there. Yeah,
I don't think he slides.
Not with all those wide receiver teams that are just one away. They're lurking in those 20s.
All right, let's set the 5 here, right? And then we'll set Bateman as a move up. Would you move up? Would you move up a couple spots for Bateman?
From 37, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 wide receiver in the draft, absolutely.
Eddie Barks.
What?
Eddie Barksdale says
you know how I feel.
What do you say?
Number 2, are you nuts?
You know how I feel. You know how I feel. Rashad Bateman is the safest wide receiver in the draft. He is my number 2 guy behind Devonta Smith.
Hello, motherfucker.
Wait.
You guys know I'm not high on Jamar Chase.
Wrong.
So what? Devontae and then Rashad Bateman and then who?
And then Chase.
And then
boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I disagree. I respectfully disagree.
AJ, LOL is right.
Hey, does anyone got has anybody got Sam's room ready? Put him in the bathroom first.
Put him in the bedroom.
First bathroom flush of the night goes to Sam. Again, Rashad Bateman, I'm pretty high on him as an overall skill set. Like, I think he's got a great overall skill set. He can do it all. When you say jack of all trades, I feel like he's got that vibe to him, especially for his size, getting in and out of breaks and stuff. Rashad Bateman, I feel like I was like poor man's Justin Jefferson. Like, he doesn't have like the athleticism as like a Justin Jefferson, but he has like that overall skill set. Like, you move inside, outside, size, nice, reliable target. He can run screens for his size. He can, at the catch point, he's pretty consistent, but he's not second wide receiver to me. That was shocking, man. Shocking. So all right, let's get back to it. 5 guys. What's up, Prime? Prime is the building.
Prime?
What's up, Prime?
I don't know if you were ready for this level of nerdiness at 9:21 at night. I mean, Prime's actually going to the draft on Thursday. Those of you that are trying to go to the draft, we do have 6 tickets. If your family wants to go to the draft, we do have 6 tickets to give up for that. Probably giving those out. I could give them out today if we have someone in the building who needs them. But our 5 guys here. Can we all agree on Terrace Marshall Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
Are we agreeing on Darius?
Yeah, Kadarius Toney.
Who?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think he makes sense there.
I'm not.
Okay.
The fantasy community hates Kadarius Toney for some reason, which is what I've seen. But the NFL really likes Kadarius Toney. Like, the teams like Kadarius Toney. But he's not an analytics guy. So, you have to look at what you got from the one season. And, outside of that one season, he really doesn't have anything else. But he was just so electric last year. I mean, you can't not think he's the best mover in this draft.
What?
I like Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney is going to be a steal.
Absolutely.
Prime in the building.
Love it. That's my boy.
Prime's in draft mode.
What tier 2 cornerbacks do you think will be on the board? So like Surtain and Horn will be going at that point. Yeah. Melanfamu? Yeah.
I take him at 37.
Stokes, my guy, dude. Stokes and Campbell will both be there from Georgia. Molden will be there from Washington.
Greg
I don't know,
Newsome?
man. There's word saying that
maybe.
Stokes and
Campbell might go in the
be
first.
back in first.
Yeah, they could be. They could be. They're both so athletically gifted.
Asante Samuel Jr. though I think he'll definitely be there at 37 or close.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think he can play outside? Like, can he actually play outside at that side? He's going to be like a nickel guy, right? So he might fall for that reason.
So are we going?
Is this a Florida
double dip the chip?
Is this a Florida Gator hating on Florida State Seminole talk, or is this because you actually think that Samuel?
No, this is absolutely because I think Samuel's just too short to play an outside corner role.
It sounds like you're hating on the Seminoles there, but it's okay.
Hey, you know what size?
Won't deny it.
You know what size the last cornerback the Eagles drafted in 2002 was?
Lito Shepard, was that 5'11"?
5'10", 196. Samuels is what, 5'10", 180?
180, yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
He said he's the same size as Jair Alexander. Are we? I think I'm okay with.
Alexander was taller, but okay.
Jair's 5'10".
No, he's short. Yeah.
AJ, Asante Samuel Jr. How you? Yay or nay?
I'd rather Efi.
In your 5. Melanfamu gang.
Yeah, I'd rather Melanfamu.
Sam, you're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prime, you said yay, nay?
Yeah.
Chris, you yay at 37? Asante Samuel gang?
I'd be cool with it. I just think that Gannon's going to want Ife way more because he fits literally the mold of what he's been doing his whole career.
But
if you've made like a Madden player that Gannon would draft, that's literally Ife.
Mm-hmm.
Prototypical.
See, yeah, I was hoping that you could get Melanfamu in the 3rd, but I don't think that's happening.
Not anymore.
He's gotten such a rise, probably not.
Yeah, and then people will show you. I got Melanfamu in the 4th.
Yeah,
my brother's
that's crazy. Dude, he was just on an interview the other day saying that he's getting calls from back end first round teams.
I saw someone mention Diami Brown in the chat.
Would you pull the trigger on him prior to the 3rd?
Well, I was mentioning. Did you see Melanfamu lock Diami Brown up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, go watch Syracuse versus UNC.
He locks a lot of people up.
That matchup, and you're like, yo, that size. And then you think later in his career, could he play safety? Some guys have him as a safety at the next level. I mean, that versatility right there is enough to me.
Melanfamu's strength and footwork for his size is just outrageous. It's just so good.
Melanfamu gang. I think I wanted to get him in 3rd. But that's not happening here.
Nope.
So he's on our list for one of the 5.
Yeah, no doubt.
I could be talked into it, Evan,
What?
you said yes on that?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
On Melon
Yeah, for 37. Yeah.
Samuel.
I would. Yeah.
I take both of them, man.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah, I would take either.
Like
I would give the lead to Melifama though.
So what if you potentially Asante Samuel gets you a potential slot corner and outside guy with that kind of versatility? Is he do we see him as a better better athlete than Lil Tay Maddox?
Yes.
Yeah, I see him as a better player.
100%. And that's the thing, though. Either guy would start in our team. Like, that's why we like either of them. Like, we were a 4-win team last year. Like, no one's safe except for some of the vets.
Yeah.
I just can't be talking to Asante. I haven't really been big on him this whole time.
I saw
we talked about this
Crocker
before.
put him what Crocker had put Asante is his number 3rd. His 3 corner. I remember you talking to Crocker that one time.
No. But yeah, this is what we really have to talk about. If the league's collusion against the running backs keeps going on, if Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, and Najee Harris, all 3 make it out of the first round, which isn't going to happen. Najee, at the latest, is going to go to Pittsburgh. What do you do if you're the Eagles? If all 3, like,
if Travis is there, dude, I love Travis.
See, I'm taking Javonte. I'm taking
Javonte.
So am I.
If you're giving me a choice of Etienne or Javonte, I'm taking Javonte.
I mean, when you have Miles Sanders,
exactly,
Lightning Gang, and then you, oh man, you talk about thunder.
You need that big back,
Javonte Williams.
I've
been saying that. I mean, shout out to Chris. We did that talk to prospect on him. Go check that out there. Javonte Williams. I would be okay. Like, people are like, yo, we don't need another running back, but I'm saying you lock him in there, he's good for the next 4 or 5.
Ruben Frank put something out. I think it was yesterday or the day before about
Javonte.
Not just about the Eagles might be taking a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round because of Miles Sanders' injury history of not being able to stay on the field.
We almost took Dobbins last year, and it's like, and we say it every year though. It's like, oh, like we have Miles Sanders, we have this, we have that, but then we're down to like Wendell Smallwood, like Boston Scott by like week 10.
You need a pure number 2.
Security with those other guys. I'm sorry.
And I like Jordan Howard, but still, like, look at the Super Bowl, man. Like, when we added Jay Ajayi, everyone's like, oh, like, this is great. Like, now we have, like, a 4th running back to add. Because Corey Clement was tearing up still. And now it's just like, dude, you're begging. You're begging for something. Like, dude, we were watching Josh Adams as the leading rusher, like 3 years ago?
If there's 2 things that Sirianni loves, it's his running backs and his tight ends. So he's definitely going to have them stacked. He's not going to have
his running backs who can catch.
Right,
his running backs who can catch.
And you have to think that Sirianni's going to at least get one of his guys, in his offense. Like so we go Jason Horn 2nd round. They're going to be Nick Sirianni's like, all right, let me get one of my guys. Let me get off.
And all 3 can catch. All 3 of the top running backs can catch. That's why those guys are all legit. And it just sucks for them, like, money-wise, because, like, the positions just getting devalued because people are watching like Saquon go that high and then be injured the last couple of years, and people saw what happened with Todd Gurley. But like those guys, like if you watch what Najee Harris, like imagine if Najee falls to Buffalo, that they immediately become like a Super Bowl favorite in the AFC. Not that they already aren't, but I'm just saying like Najee Harris, like it was crazy. Someone was saying like this is the worst running back class ever.
I saw that.
Like that's mind blowing. Like, dude, Najee Harris is one of the best prospects.
No, it was Evan Silva said that.
I thought it was the Pro Football Focus guys, man. They spit some bullshit out, dude.
Evan Silva, former coworker at RotoWorld. I'm not going with that.
Evans don't claim him. I'm just letting you know.
I mean,
Evans don't claim him.
Can we say Bishop Sankey, Titans? Can we like that draft was a 2-pack of ass? So don't like this compared to these guys. I'm like, you're getting solid 2nd to 3rd. I mean, and then there's a couple guys in here who said Gainwell, like someone I'm looking for that.
I like Gainwell.
I like Gainwell.
He's awesome.
I like
Again,
Chuba too in the late rounds too, like Deshae said.
Yeah.
Not Deshae. Kelly said.
Another guy that I'm pretty high on is it Chuba or Chuba?
Chuba.
Chuba to me, baby.
So you caught a Chuba? You caught a Chuba on the Chuba. Again, like talk about his game. If he came out last year, would his stock been higher? He did get injured as well. Trey Sermon's runs violent, not for his own good. Like he will put himself in the hospital just by how like he doesn't know when to stop. I know that was Moira's. She's on him. She's been pumping his stock up lately.
Single-handedly.
I don't know, man. I guess so.
Evan coming out of left field.
We got to lock it, and we gotta bring this together here. Brandon Lewis.
I like. We're not to debunk Caleb Farley. We love Caleb Farley
in the first round.
He's just
we just don't
the
love
biggest
the injuries
flag.
either.
Yeah, he's a bigger medical med frag than Jalen Phillips is.
Is Caleb Farley a potential Sidney Jones candidate for you? Yeah.
What do you mean by
second
that?
round? If he's sitting in, did he get the Sidney Jones award in the second round? If he's sitting there.
I mean,
But when you
said
say
three,
But like, I didn't enjoy the Sidney Jones experience. So you're not really like, I want you to sell me on it.
We're talking about a guy who's got a.
He's not trying to.
He's got an injury profile going into.
So it was the hype, because I remember that exactly. Sidney Jones was the hype that year, not knowing about his whole injury.
Well, he got the Achilles.
Yeah,
right.
Well, he had the Achilles at his pro day.
And stink it up, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, the hype. Yes, I think the hype for Caleb Farley is just as much, and I would go ahead and compare it to a Sidney Jones steal, second round steal. Yeah.
Okay. Would you move up for him in the first?
No.
No.
Not with that injury history. No.
Like, what you got? I got a backiotomy. Times 2.
I broke my back.
Spinal.
Spinal.
So it's sad that his profile, like in terms of like off the field stuff, quarterback, switched to wide receiver, the cornerback, had a tremendous year, can play, multiple positions, picked up the cornerback position. So he's such a raw prospect. I mean, and we're just throwing him to the wind, and hopefully he lands in the second round. Imagine getting J.C. Horn and Caleb Farley in the same draft.
Yeah, that I would be excited about.
But
I wouldn't move up for Caleb Farley though.
No, and we talked about it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a bad thing if we go back-to-back cornerbacks, just so we can go ahead and seal the deal on our defense.
I think it is difficult right now for all of us to agree on 5 players that we like at 37.
Yeah.
This question, I would not take Amon-Ra St. Brown at 37.
No way.
I like Amon-Ra a lot. I would not take him at 37. I would take a shot on Diami Brown over him at 37. It's like I like him a lot, but it's for what we have on our team. It's not like I'd even consider taking a shot at Nico Collins at 37 over him, or a little bit after.
I still have PTSD about the Pac-12 wide receivers. So it's just.
So that's Amon-Na, actually.
Yeah.
So, let's get it together. Is it? Imagine who's standing up on the table? Is anyone going to have a stand up on the table moment? I got up on the table. I stood on the table, and if it wasn't for me, we're going to draft you in the second round. We're going to have any of those moments in the second round, Chris?
What specific players?
Are we still right now? We're not agreeing on 5 players that fit the mold right now. Well, you got Melon Fanwu gang over Asante Samuel gang, Terrace Marshall.
If he's there.
There's 3 guys right there. I mean, I would take any 3 of those guys at 37.
Kadarius Toney.
There's 4.
Is Kadarius Toney is he to you? I'll go with Sam because he's Toney gang, official captain. Is he a overall his skill set do you see him as gadget guy, or do you see him as
he's either the next Tavon Austin or he's one of the better slot receivers in the NFL just because of how you can move him around. Like I don't like saying anybody has Tyreek Hill capabilities, but he's so sudden, like behind the line of scrimmage and around all around the line. He can really do anything, and he's got really good hands. So he's not going to be a deep downfield threat guy. He's not going to be a possession receiver. He's a guy you get the ball to around the line of scrimmage and let him, screw around with it, which is the type of offense that Sirianni's going to want to run. He likes to run a motion offense. There's
if anything, I would say that he reminds me of T.Y. Hilton a lot. Like a lot of the measurables, like sure-handed, like I don't know, like that's a guy that I kind of see the comparisons to. Like I've been high on Kadarius Toney, and when we had access to the Senior Bowl and everything, like there was pretty much no one stopping him on one-on-ones, and he has amazing hands. I think it really depends on what system he gets in, like, and that's how it is with a lot of guys. Like if you tell me, okay, like he's gonna go to like, I'm trying to think, like let's say like Jacksonville last year, and like he's gonna have like Gardner Minshew and like a crappy like coaching staff. You're not gonna want him. But then if you tell me, oh, he's going to like the Saints, or he's going to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, then you see the potential. That's one of those reasons why like he like some teams are gonna take him in the first. Like if Kansas City can get their hands on him, they'll probably take him.
Well, they don't have a pick anymore.
But can we
no,
talk
that's
about?
what I mean, though, like a team on the back end.
You think that Tony's hands are fantastic?
Oh
yeah. I don't think he had a drop all last year.
He didn't. He's one of the safest hands guys in this draft. Yeah, and obviously we only really have a year to go on it, which is why not a lot of people are high.
1 year production, 70 catches, 984 yards, 10 touchdowns, right? Okay. But this is something you all aren't talking about. You call him Tony, Kadarius Toney, but his stage name is Young Joka, who has a rap career. Does anybody want to talk about his rap career?
I'm not talking about his rap.
His name is Young Joka.
Okay, see, this is some of the stuff that we're not talking about. This is how we get off some of these. Does anyone want to talk about he had an issue with the AR-15 assault rifle?
I actually
like
did
a
not
Plaxico Burress incident, or like a
he had a involvement on an on-campus confrontation between players and Gainesville locals, where he painted an airsoft gun to look like an AR-15 assault rifle.
Oh, okay.
He was pulled over by Gainesville police, which revealed an authentic and loaded AR-15 rifle in his backseat in 2018.
That was still the airsoft rifle, right?
He said that was in his car because it was for protection because of locals, and there's no charges were filed. And he did miss a chunk of time due to player injuries. This is shout out to the Beast. Brugler has a lot of intel that you might not find anywhere else. He does a great job finding nuggets like that. Does anyone? That's Elijah Moore. We're not Elijah Moore. Right,
Elijah Moore is great, but I think he's going in the first more. I think he's going in the first round. Everything I've heard is that 20.
If he doesn't go first round,
round, love him.
Okay, then can we condense him into the take over the Kadarius Toney spot, aka Young Joka?
Yeah, aka Young Joka.
I'll go with that. I'm fine with either of them.
I don't know if Sam's fine with that.
No, I'm fine with either of them, honestly.
I've always liked Toney, but any mock
I've had,
I haven't taken him because like I would take Moore over him, and there's a lot of other guys I like. I mean, Moore's kind of like a Debo Samuel, but even a better route runner.
Big Fish Little Boat says it having a rap career in Florida, all of his that is legal. No, I know the guns.
When you go to Florida, everything's legal.
Yeah. They got their own set of rules. But Young Joka, is that news to everybody on the panel? His rap career?
Yeah, that's news to me. And as far as like painting your airsoft rifle, like that's something that like it's a dumb kid move. I'm not really holding that against him.
Yeah,
but that dumb kid you're about to give him millions of dollars. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a maturity level thing.
I get that.
It was 3 years ago.
It definitely was 3 years ago. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It was 3 years ago.
It's funny. It's funny to like you'll see some of these prospects will do stuff and you're just like, oh, they're just kids. What age is a kid to you? 21?
Nah, 18 and younger.
I would say 20 and younger. I would say 20 and younger.
When you get in your 40s, you're looking at some dude 21 like, I'm a grown ass man. I'm like, nah, you're still young, man. You're still a kid, man.
Man, look, I'm 42 years old. I'll still have my kid moments. I'm a kid on Mondays and Wednesdays, and you know what I mean? Tuesdays and Thursdays, I decide to be an adult.
I think Cap Lock might be stuck on his keyboard.
Maybe T-Ville is actually yelling right now. He's standing on the table right now. All right, we're gonna take this serious. We're gonna stand it. I think I'm still. Are we Carlos Basham, Boogie Basham?
I remember Chris brought up Boogie Basham.
Chris's number 2 pick in his recent mock draft. If you haven't checked out our mock drafts recently, AJ dropped one of his no trades, right? Yours had trades.
Mine had trades.
Yep, and Chris didn't have trades. So
I
check
traded up.
out.
I traded up to have 2 second-round picks.
Giving up the third.
Yes.
Double the thirds to get to the second.
Yeah, I traded. I traded 70, 225, and Zach Ertz to move up to 39,
And
which is the Carolina Panthers pick.
So that's a more realistic move for me to move up.
Is this the year that mock drafts probably broke the records of being done?
Probably
because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
there were a lot of them. We were all bored.
I feel like I see a lot of them every year, though.
I don't know, man. I guess it just really stood out the most this year to me.
Yeah.
So is anyone high on these edges right now? Because some people are looking at the edges like
Basham.
We need one.
It'd be a very Eagles move. Like it'd be something that I would totally be understanding and would even like I would be okay with. But like it's not if I'm the one picking, like that wouldn't be the direction I would go.
So like I said in my mock draft, I said I picked Boogie with my 39th pick, and the quote was like, "This is how he picked. This is how he picked. This is how he picked."
Yeah.
But in actuality, you need a defensive end big time because Brandon Graham's almost done his career. Derek Barnett's a free agent next year, and that leaves you with Josh Sweat and Joe Osman as your defensive ends.
Now, is this with my 2 boys being taken already?
Who's that?
Phillips and Gregory
Rousseau.
Yeah, so Phil, we've talked about this. Prime Phillips is my DM1. So yeah, he's in my opinion, he's going back in first. And Gregory, I think he goes like the first or second pick in the second round.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, how are we feeling about Asai? I seen that.
I don't know much about him, honestly.
Are you guys excited? I don't see none of the edge guys that are like
they don't excite me.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no true superstar in this.
There's no Chase Young.
There's no Chase Young.
Yeah.
But there's depth. There's a bunch of DN2s in this draft. Like
there's a lot of guys
would be a DM1, but his injury history you never know, so you can't base him off of that. Like in my opinion, Jalen Phillips is a pure DM1. If he had no medical red flags, he's a top 10 pick in my opinion because he's that good of a defensive end.
I just feel like he showed me the most where I was like, you know, he might not be super twitched up, but like he's got a lot of tools on his tool belt.
Yeah, he can make all the moves. He can play inside, outside, stop the run, pass rush. He's a finisher. A lot of tackles for loss. So I'm really high on him.
Mark says, is edge really in need?
Yes.
Yes. Just not Quiddy Pay in the first round. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that much of a need.
Yeah, but
edge is a very big need.
Are we talking about after the third round or?
I think he's talking second round.
If they took one in the second round, I wouldn't be that mad, depending on who it is.
Me either. I'm surprised or mad.
But picks in the third round, definitely one or honestly both of them would not be a terrible idea. There's some good guys in that range too.
All right, I'm gonna add one more guy into the mix. I know we're hitting on an hour. This could be a 2-parter. We could double up tomorrow if you guys are around. People were like, I think I'm gonna go to bed at like 11. I'm gonna throw one more guy in the mix. You guys ready for this name?
Lay it on me.
You ready? Richie Grant.
Yes. Yes.
I just don't know if they go safety that early,
This
especially
high.
with signing.
Well, like
Harris.
do we?
Yeah.
Because this is the problem that I have, dilemma I have with Richie Grant. I wanted him in the third round. I don't think he's going in the third
He's
round.
a
I think
second
he's,
round.
I think he's going in the back end of the second.
Mhm.
Would I draft him at 37? No. Would I draft him in your plan of like moving up to grab?
Use the 2/3
Well,
to
I
package
think
up into the
I
second.
honestly think that the most realistic thing is the Eagles stay at 12 and they trade up for another second round pick. That to me is the most realistic thing of happening of any kind of trade. But if that were to happen, I wouldn't mind taking a Richie Grant in a second. But I just don't know if they do because signing in Harris, drafting Kayvon Wallace last year, like
That's not enough to stop me from Richie Grant.
it's not for me either. But we know how this Eagles team is, so.
My whole idea of like, yeah, third and Richie Grant, that went out after the Senior Bowl. I was like, yeah, it's not happening. Like his stock just went third round for me in the low 60s range. In my thoughts, he would be a third round. That would be value right there. But we're talking second round. This guy's
If everybody's in consensus that someone's going to go in the third round, that means he's definitely going to go before the third round.
Yep.
okay. We could like close this one out in the next 15 minutes here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Potential guys we can move up from the third round to draft in the second round.
To the second.
Yep.
Move
Like
into the second.
into that like 50 into that like 50 60 range.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Richie Grant, obviously, would be one guy that would be there.
Richie Grant.
How high are you guys on Ronnie Perkins or Joe? What's his name? Joe Chylon or from Washington?
I like Ronnie Perkins.
I like Ronnie Perkins too. If
like
we traded
Perkins.
up until like 50s, 60s, I would be all right taking him there.
What about like a Quinn Miners?
or
I like that. I was
I think Sam was gonna get naked for that one.
no, I like that one.
I like
one.
that.
Do you think that they draft him for a center or a guard? Because I don't think that they're going to draft a center. If they're going to draft someone, I think they draft guard. Because I think they're sold on Samalu being Kelsey's replacement.
I feel
if you have them compete in camp and Miners, like I mean, Sayamalu has a lot of versatility. He could play guard. So
Chris
like,
Brish.
If
tops,
what's it called Miners ends up being better in camp, why would you not have Sayamalu at guard eventually and keep Miners center?
Because of Howie Roseman and the Eagles.
Well, if you listen to Jason Kelsey, they said who would be your replacement after you retire? He said Isaac Sumalo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's the safe option now because he's already on the team.
Well, I'm just saying.
I just think
he said that 3 years ago.
Kelsey's the type of guy you take his word for granted. Like you don't mess around with what he says.
Yeah.
Richie, big fish, little boat. Richie Grant all day. Give me Horn and Grant, and our defense is on another level. I could dig it. Hey, you give me Joe. You give me Terrace Marshall, and then a Richie Grant. Come on, and then you hit me up with some linemen in the what's the dude from Kendrick from
Clemson?
Is it Illinois? The lineman guard.
The hell's his name? I know who you're talking about. I just saw him yesterday on the mock drafts.
And then if you get a lineman there, like a Kendrick Green from Illinois, in the third, that's nice. That's man, that would be nice. But you'd have to give up 2 threes to get up there.
I just think that out of the first, I guess 4 picks, a wide receiver, cornerback, and defensive end are all being drafted. And I don't know what order, but those 3 are being taken in those first 4 picks.
A wide receiver, a cornerback, and a defensive end, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, if we're talking about linemen still, Jared, says Landon Dickerson. I like Landon Dickerson but you say
injuries.
if.
Apparently, he's only a guy. Did you hear that? Landon Dickerson.
Someone said that.
Some analysis said he doesn't have any talent. He's just a guy. I was like, are you kidding me?
I just think you just look at the team that's been dealt with the injury bug over the last 2 years. But then again, like if he wasn't injury prone, he wouldn't even be thought about.
If there's no medical red flag, he's just an absolute monster talent not to pace on.
Okay, so why don't we add these guys into this mix? So we said Chris made a comment about Jabril Cox. That's
I'm
a guy.
I'm okay with that.
Moving up from the third
to
get okay.
Yep.
Kelvin Joseph. I know Chris, who's an LSU fan. You're low on him, correct?
As a player, he's awesome, but his red flags are more legitimate than Micah Parsons because they're real. There's a reason why he left LSU, and then when he went to Kentucky, people literally said, like, LSU literally said they want nothing to do with him. Like, get out of like our state. Like, there's a lot of red flags with Kelvin Joseph and the maturity issues. Like, and that's like a vocal. Like, there's a folder that scouts and everyone talks about with him. Like, that's the guy that like everyone's like, stay away from him. Like, let him eat his lunch in the corner. Like, he's allowed to play at recess. People do like. There's a lot of issues with him. He's a great player. Like, he's a ball hawk. He's awesome. I mean, dude, he went from LSU to Kentucky, but it's just like there's a lot of red flags with him. Like, it's one of those things where like when you heard about Matt Rule, he shared a elevator ride with a prospect, and the prospect didn't recognize him. And Matt Rule's like, that 15 seconds in the elevator with that player, I wanted nothing to do with him, and I would never draft him. That would probably be Kelvin Joseph, and that's why it's like. You just got to trust your gut and your scouts. Like, if they talk to this kid and they confirm that there's something wrong with him, like, you're not going to touch him.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of, like,
that's pretty bad.
What kind of specifically are red flags? Forward. Are we talking about, like, assaults? Are we talking about, like, what are we talking about?
I don't know if it ever went public. They just said it was
habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever went public. I just remember, like, at LSU, they were like, it's so bad, like, he had to get, like, ripped off of, like, the face of the earth from that school. Like, there's like, a bunch of stuff about it. Like
hey, Chris, like, I'm going to need some facts. What is the you saying these days? Facts? You're going to have to, in our next show, you're going to have to bring me some of that evidence.
One agent said, in my time evaluating NFL prospects in 20 years, he's the worst character I've ever encountered. He's off 20 different teams. He's off 20 different teams' boards.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's just like there's something up with him. I don't know.
You know the Eagles are the first one off that board.
Wow,
he'll be on the Cowboys or something.
That's interesting.
I know. I'm glad we passed on Darius, guys.
So can we add this one more name to the mix here? Creed Humphrey, also from Oklahoma, former center. I mean, we could potentially be adding enough former teammates of Jalen Hurts.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Where he can feel like he's home. Yeah.
Then his center, former center Creed Humphrey. What are they saying about Creed Humphrey? That
he's a lefty center.
He's not the real like athletic type, but he's the phone booth guy. Put him in a phone booth. Obviously, I'm thinking third round pick here
for Creed. Yeah,
but he probably can go in the second.
Yeah, he's got a second, third round grade.
While we're at it, Chris, are you feeling enough? Chris recently had Nico Collins in his third round of his mock draft. T-Ville says he's the lunch pail guy. Nico Collins, would we move up?
Yes.
In the back end of the second.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, him and Diami Brown are like two guys that you'd move up for. Definitely Nico Collins. I mean, he's literally in like the 90th percentile on every single thing. And like Donovan Peoples-Jones, who just kept on dropping, like, dude, they had to deal with Shea Patterson that whole time, and like that absolutely killed them. Like Nico Collins, he's a legitimate 6'4", 215-pound receiver. He is a monster, and he runs a 4.4. Broad jump's crazy, vertical jump's crazy. He's a really solid route runner for his size. And the thing with him is that's the dude you take a shot on in the second or third round, not a JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Like, if you put those two guys next to each other, you would think that JJ Arcega-Whiteside is like his footrest somewhere, and then you would think that Nico Collins is like the actual player. Like, it's like DK Metcalf standing next to like JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Like, Nico Collins is like a grown man. Like, at the Senior Bowl, we were watching clips of him, and he was just jumping over people, making like insane catches. And like, okay, like I get why this guy still has hype, even though the numbers weren't all there. And then you watch Shea Patterson like run backwards and throw the ball over his head, and you're like, all right, I get it.
I think if Nico Collins played for a Clemson or an Alabama, he's talked amongst like a Mike Williams who got taken real early in the first round because he's got that body build, he's got that high point catching ability. He's faster than Mike Williams, so it's like. He's a prospect that got hurt. He's a prospect that got hurt from Michigan's offense.
Peter Rayner hasn't given up on J-Jaw yet. He says he's about to have his breakout season. I think that J-Jaw, and I know I bash him all the time because you know the whole situation with DK, like just looking at him. But I feel like if there's anyone this year who's going to take a step forward, it's going to be J-Jaw because he is literally. I think Sirianni's going to use him like he used Pittman last year. In that type of role in the offense.
Yeah, if he steps up and he actually makes the roster, I think that J-Jaw could be solid because, I mean, look at how good Zach Pascal was in the offense and look how good Pittman was after he got implemented. I think that we're big believers in the Sirianni system and what they're going to bring to here. It's just like, can he survive the purge? Like, if they do draft a Nico Collins and if Fulgham still progresses, like, is J-Jaw going to make the roster over a guy like, let's say, Quez and like Hightower? Like, they might even be fringe guys if we take two receivers. So there's a lot. We're going to find out a lot in the next couple of days.
Chris throwing a lot of smoke.
Before we go, let me ask two questions. They're kind of one and the same. What's an acceptable season for a J-Jaw and a Reagor next year? What do you expect to be acceptable numbers wise?
From Reagor, I would say Reagor, I would say 60 receptions, at least 850 yards, and I would say 6 to 7 touchdowns, but also you have to get him on the ground at least 200 yards and probably 2 or 3. Like that's completely fine with me because if you look at the numbers from like Stryken or Sirianni, like there's never a guy that has like gaudy numbers. Like it's like a system where like guys get spread out all along. Right. And I'm expecting like Miles Sanders to have a big year and whoever plays in the slot, maybe Greg Ward stays and keeps whoever comes in at bay. But I think that would be really solid. I mean, as long as like the eyes will tell the truth, honestly. And with J-Jaw, I mean, like I think he needs to become way more of a red zone threat than he's been, like, or just a threat at all, which I think he can be. I mean, he has the potential. I mean, he came on crazy his rookie year at the end, like not numbers wise, but like he was clutch for Carson Wentz in that NFC East, the 4 games at the end of the stretch. So it's really going to be efficiency for him.
No, I thought about that.
I was waiting on stats though. I want to hear what stats you got.
Yeah. So for me. I had a conversation with somebody earlier when I brought it up on Twitter, and I said for me, I like 55 catches, 700 to 800 yards, and 4 to 6 touchdowns. That to me, because I know how they spread the ball in the offense, I'm not expecting the touchdowns to be 10, 12 touchdowns. But J-Jaw, I need at least 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 40-something catches. Because like he said, they didn't really use J-Jaw in the red zone like at all. Like I don't think they went his way at all.
They still haven't used them. I mean, again, like how many? Like if you want to like get like technical, like J-Jaw could have had a touchdown opening drive, and he chose to throw to Zach Ertz. Mm-hmm. He was wide open in the end zone. That would have been a touchdown the first of the season.
And that's the only reason why I say that he's gonna in my opinion gonna have the biggest drive with Sirianni, because I think that Sirianni's going to use his size, and Doug Peterson just didn't use him at all. Like if you look How many passes did J-Jaw actually get thrown to him in his career?
He's a jump ball guy. They don't throw jump balls.
Is it even 50 catches? Or is it even close to that?
No.
In what, 3 years?
No.
I don't even think he has 25 targets.
Well, and that's my point.
Well, look at the throw.
He's got more umbrellas than catches,
which is crazy.
Look at the throw with Wentz that he was off on in the Rams game. That's another touchdown. J-Jaw. That would have been what in 3 games. That would have been what 2? Was the Rams again the second game of the season? Third. That would have been 2 touchdowns in 3 games if they would have just hit him when they were open.
Yeah.
So let's I haven't seen him utilized at all. Again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
And with J-Jaw being apparently a Jeffrey Lurie pick, I don't see him being cut.
So I mean, you guys listed your expectations for Rager and for J-Jaw, but like with all those stats, it kind of seems like the ball's being taken out of Travis Fulgham's hands. What kind of stats do you expect from him this season?
I mean, the fact that Sirianni is a wide receiver guy, you would kind of hope that he really gets into the flow of spreading the ball to all these receivers. I mean, a new system, new coaching staff. So hopefully we get to see a whole lot more out of this wide receiver core than we did with Doug Peterson. Now, back to, I'm calling him Mary Poppins. I'm not even going to call him J-Jaw no more. Right? My man needs to really step it up. I mean, again, the fact that Sirianni's coming in here with a whole new system, I hope that all these comments that he's going to have, and AJ, of course, like what you mentioned, I really hope that is the fact, man. You know what I mean? Because let's say he does have that monster year. Are we going to put all this, him over DJ Metcalf to sleep, or we're still going to go always, we're always going to remember that?
I just want him to have some kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I just want him to be able to produce. Just give me some kind of production at this point.
Like a Michael Pittman role?
Right. I'm good with that, dude. At that point, he's a second round pick too. Just give me that kind of production because, like Chris said, you're not going to have a 1,000-yard receiver on this team. Most likely not. You're going to have a bunch of guys who are like 6, 7, 800 yards. Goddard probably being up there as the number 1 receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I just feel like if you can get these guys working and playing to their strengths, everybody eats, fam. Like, hey, if everyone can get a nice serviceable role, that's what you like. I mean, when we had Torrey Smith, Ertz, Nelson Aguilar, Alshon, they all found a way to get targets and flourish together as a group. So if you can all get them all working, I think Fulgham has to mature as a player. I'm not gonna say as a person, but I think he has to take over that, get to that next level as a player. He's gonna have to mature as a person. As you get older, who's the veteran in this group? Is Greg Ward? He's been the steady Eddie of the whole group.
I don't even know if he's guaranteed a roster spot this year.
And I the whole idea of as much as Greg Ward has been consistent, I don't want to rely on being okay. I don't. Yeah. You have to progress. If Elijah Moore is there and you got a killer guy in the slot that could. We didn't even talk about Rondell Moore.
Yeah.
Is he off your book? I mean, he's small dude, 5'7", 5'8", but super explosive.
But we have a lot to work with. We got Quez, we got Hightower, we got Ward, we got Fulgham, we got JJ, we got Rager. That's 6. And then here we're trying to bring in another key. That's 7 wide receivers. If you can't get shit together with 7 wide receivers.
And John.
So Arcega-Whiteside has 30 targets and 14 catches in his career.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's only
25. Yeah. That's 7 catches a year. That tells you right there that they didn't utilize him, regardless if you want to say he couldn't get open or not. They weren't even looking his way. Man. So it's like the story hasn't been written for Arcega-Whiteside yet, no matter how much shit I've talked on him. That's just me being an angry Eagles fan. but in reality, we haven't really seen what kind of player he can be. So hopefully, just gives some kind of production.
So when we're looking at the Pro Bowl voting, and here's AJ looking over at the Pro Bowl voting and seeing JJ Whiteside as at the.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
I'll be fanboying all over. Yeah, that's my man since day one.
I'm telling you, none of these guys have been utilized correctly. So the judge and jury is still out, and I think Sirianni, if he can, as much as he speaks to the coaching points and getting the most out of his wide receivers, I'm excited to see that because we didn't see that here. Obviously, in theory, we wanted to get to the back end of this board. We can, hey, we're here again tomorrow. So if you guys are around, want to join in that conversation, we can try and do that again. 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Yep.
We'll go quicker. Probably go quicker. We got our meat and potatoes, guys that were kind of like dialed in. We'll share that chart maybe tomorrow, Ev.
Yeah.
I think are we out on Young Joker, the rapper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, I am.
The rapper part.
Yeah, the rapper part. I'm not going to be buying any albums.
Yeah.
He's not a priority.
He's got some sick, but then you like, is he the same wide receiver as Rager?
Not really.
I don't think so.
Jack of all trades.
But it's like,
Screens.
why? If you're even thinking about that, why would you take him if Terrace Marshall falls?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even.
That's what
Terrence Marshall
I mean.
is- If you take J.C. Horn or Surtain at 12, and Terrence Marshall is there at 37, that's the guy.
Yeah,
I don't know how you take anybody else.
No hesitation.
I don't know
Zero
how you take
hesitation.
anybody else but him there.
You'd even move up
Because-
for him if he's getting close.
Yeah, because in my opinion, Terrence Marshall's floor is like DJ Chark, and his ceiling is probably Allen Robinson. Like, I think he's that good. And they both 2nd round guys, so it's just like,
Yeah.
So I mean, we could be going on and on. We got our man out. Peter is out here. It's 3 a.m. wherever he's at, and he needs to get to work. Again, we appreciate everybody in the chat joining in the conversation. Definitely spiced up the chat and got our juices going. Again, we'll try and get back to that 3rd, 4th, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round of the mock board. But any last words from you guys before we get out of here?
Just look out for a lot more comments.
J.C. Horn, CB1, get with it or get lost.
I'm just looking forward to Goodell, announcing the 2021 official start of the NFL season.
I need Thursday so bad, fellas.
Chris?
I need it.
No Quiddy Pay at 12. Stop the talk. If you Google Quiddy Pay, the first thing you see is Love and Eagles. Get that shit out of here. I can't deal with it anymore. I almost drove my fucking car in the traffic. I can't do it. I've been so even keel this entire draft season. The whole Quiddy Pay bullshit has pissed me off. You know me. I don't even curse on any of our streams. I would be livid. My friend's a Philly cop. We're going to flash the badge. We're going to get into NovaCare. If we do that, I can't have Quiddy Pay be the pick of 12. Good night. I can't do it. I'm so mad. Like,
Chris off the top rope, and I like it.
Insurrection.
I like.
literally grab a gang of my boys with some pitchforks and some fire torches to the NovaCare Center.
We're making
If they
threats
take
now.
Quiddy Pay
Wow.
at 12, I'm gonna be that angry.
Wow. I mean, I think Quiddy Pay could actually start a fire up in this chat, dude. Like, I'm gonna speak for.
Why are you guys even still mentioning the name?
Because it's a real possibility because of Howie Roseman.
Man,
Obviously, it's weird because I watched the ESPN special on him, and I'm like, man, this guy's got a great story. But again, I will not let that veer off the 4 targets that I have at 12.
The problem is, here's my thing about it before we go. So Tony Pauline, I don't know if you like how you guys feel about him. Usually when he talks about the Eagles, it's like almost dead on majority of the time. So he gets a lot of things Eagles wise correct. So like, or at least in the ballpark. So when he came out with that, I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude! Like you gotta be kidding me."
We did the first reasonable targets at 12 podcasts, and I was like, "Imagine." I mentioned like Quiddy Pay. Watch, and here we are.
That's just such. That's another Howie Roseman pick. There's no way that the scouts want Quiddy Pay at 12. There's no way Andy Weidel and his guys are saying, "Yo, Quiddy Pay, dude. He's the next thing." Like, there's no way. That just screams Howie to me.
I got the right move for them. Yeah. So, first of all, Thursday we're gonna have our live draft show. It's gonna start, a couple hours before the draft. Get you hyped, get you ready. We'll be sitting there with you guys going through the picks. We'll be back on Friday and Saturday, so there's enough time to get your draft takes off. But for me and the guys, look at Evan. Like, he's yawning over here. Like he's
sorry.
Like he's 65 years old. Like, he doesn't get enough sleep.
I don't.
You couldn't wait for after the show?
It was coming through, man.
But anyway, we'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.